Thanks for logging on to the PawCast for the week of Monday, September 26th through Friday the 30th. Hello, I'm Mr. Andrews, and it's time for some Pawville news. This week in math, we're going to be estimating sums and differences, and then we'll multiply by 1- and 2-digit factors. On Friday, you can expect another quiz. In science this week, we're going to be talking about what affects global weather patterns. We'll also discuss El Nino and La Nina and how they can have a huge effect on the weather in the United States. We'll have our weather unit assessment for the entire weather unit later in the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, and then we're going to start talking about our weather project. Each student's going to be forming a team, and those teams are going to make a weather presentation. So we'll start that by the end of this week. In ELA, we're going to be talking about the 3 tiers of vocabulary, and in social studies, we're going to be talking about the levels of government, and students are also going to begin their presidential speech. Now, not every student has to run for president in Purple Pawville, but everyone has to write a speech that suggests ideas and ways that we can either keep or make Pawville a better place to learn. Some highlights for this week that I'd like to make parents aware of. We're going to begin entering our NFL scores and wins and losses on our football graphs this week. We're entering week number 3, and we're going to take week 1, week 2, and week 3's scores for your child's team, and we'll, in class, put that on our bar graphs and on our line graphs. Now, from this point on, students will be responsible for entering this information themselves for week 4 through the rest of the season. Of course, they can ask questions in class, or they can ask me or any of the other teachers in our classroom if they still are unsure how this works. But it's going to be their responsibilities from week 4 on. On week 7, I will collect these and give them their first 2 test grades, one for the bar graph and a test grade for the line graph. Also, test grades from this past week are going to be coming home on Monday, so parents be looking for that. We had an assessment in math on Friday, and those test scores will come home. If your child does not have a 100 test grade, they will need to make repairs to the test questions they missed. Now, if they make a repair, they get half of the points that they did not earn back. A repair sheet will be going home with your child's test that explains exactly what they'll need to do in order to repair and get half of those points back.
Mr. Andrews, he's in the U.S., he's at a capital. Oh, which one will we learn about this week?
So where in the United States is Mr. Andrews? Well, I've got a bit of a hint behind me here. You see my beehives, and this week's state has something to do with bees, or at least I hope that you'll find that out. So big clue there, bees will have something to do with my state. I'm getting ready in just a moment after I finish this portion of the PawCast to go and actually work these hives. Remember, my bees have some varroa mites, so I'm going to be treating those hives with something called oxalic acid, and I'm going to be fumigating the hives, and it will not hurt the bees at all. As a matter of fact, oxalic acid is a very naturally an occurrence. Rhubarb, carrots, all produce oxalic acid. So the good thing is varroa mites don't like oxalic acid at all. Boy, say that word several times in a row, it's kind of tough. But The mites are not going to like it. The bees, they're okay. Main thing is that I want the larvae of my drone bees, those boy bees. That's where the varroa mites like to lay their eggs. So I'm going to try my best over the next 3 weeks to treat these hives, and at every stage of that drone larvae, we're going to treat them and try to kill those varroa mites as they lay their eggs inside the hive. So anyways, let's get ready with the clues. This week's clues, as you look behind me, now you can actually see the Capitol building of this particular state. The average snowfall in the mountains near this state's capital city is around 500 inches a year. That's snowfall. This state was acquired by the United States in 1848 in a treaty ending the war with Mexico. The federal government owns 65% of this state's land. And there's a very famous lake in this state that covers more than 1 million acres. 75 miles long and 35 miles wide is this lake, and it's only 32 feet deep in its deepest part. And this state's symbol is the beehive, which symbolizes thrift and industry. Please remember that to get credit for your bonus answer, you must have not only your name and your mom and dad's signature, that lets me know they also listen to the PawCast, but also need for you to make sure you have the correct state and capital.
Where is Mr. Andrews? He's in the U.S. He's at a capital. Which one will we learn about this week?
Let's all have a great week together, and let's all get the big ball.